If it's stuck on the spider, leave the spider in the oil. It'll come off. Okay, that didn't really work. Cut. I'm just kidding. Don't cut. It's fine. It's fine. Sometimes I'm full of It is what it is. I don't know. Hi, I'm Sue Lee. I'm a food stylist and a recipe developer, and today I'm going to make Taiwanese popcorn chicken. You really only need a few ingredients, and it's incredibly simple. So let's start cooking. You know, I came about this recipe, how do I say this without getting too sentimental? I really miss visiting Taiwan and seeing my parents, and I miss going to the night markets. I miss eating all the fried bits that you can buy from the stalls. If you're walking down the streets of Taiwan and it's around lunchtime, you can smell the mixture of garlic, fried garlic and ground and white pepper, and it's just it fills the air, permeates the air if you're walking by a restaurant. I miss it so much. I miss that smell so much. I'm gonna get emotional. Anyway, so I miss it so much, and I wanted to make this recipe for you. First, we're gonna cut chicken into just bite-sized pieces, really. You don't have to be super exact. I like to use chicken thighs because I feel like there's more fat in them. They just taste a little more rich and delicious. Okay, so now we're going to marinate the chicken. So the difference between white pepper and black pepper is that white pepper has a bit more of it's a little more floral. 5-spice powder, I think, has cinnamon, star anise, other ingredients.
Great.
Gina? Gina, help! Gina, you have the internet!
We can use checks.
I just know it's good. I think people don't use enough sugar in their food. It doesn't give it any type of sweetness. It just sort of rounds out all the flavors. That's it. We're just gonna toss it together and let it marinate. I recommend you doing it as long as you can, which is overnight. I went ahead and prepared a batch of chicken that I marinated overnight. You see that the soy sauce and the spices it's taken on that color, and the salt has also drawn out some of the juices from the chicken, which is very helpful for us when we're going to batter it with the tapioca flour. Traditionally, sweet potato flour is what they use, and I've adapted using tapioca flour, which I feel like the textures are the same. They're both starchy ingredients and can just really give it a nice crunch. You don't really need anything else. You just need to wet your hands, and you toss the chicken and the tapioca flour together, and the moisture from your hands and the juices from the chicken will start to make the flour adhere to the meat pieces. The visual cue that you need to look for when it's ready for frying are these tiny beads that are going to start to form. So the beads that form is what gives it the crunch. They call that seeding the batter, seeding the chicken, meaning you're creating these crunchy bits on the outside. Because my oil is a little hot, I'm gonna let it cool. And while it's cooling, I'm going to crush my peppercorns. I grew up eating a lot of Sichuan food. My grandfather used to cook dinner for us every Sunday, and there was always mapo tofu and stir-fried clams with a lot of chilies. I remember my grandfather didn't use a lot of it in his cooking. He used just enough for you to taste it and to feel the tingle, because it's just an aromatic. It's almost like a lemony zing. Couple pinches of salt, you toss it together. So this will be ready for when you're seasoning your chicken once it comes out of the fryer. Now you want to fry your chicken in batches. You don't want to just put the whole thing in there, because it'll end up being a ball. You see how the little beads are fried? It's going to taste so good. The first batch is ready. And now you season it. It's important to season your fried foods with salt when they come out of the fryer. In Taiwan, if you were to buy at the night market, they put it in a paper bag. They give you a couple skewers or a couple of long toothpicks, because you're supposed to just walk around, browse the night market and eat the chicken bits. Or sometimes they flatten an entire thing of a cutlet, and you're just holding this giant thing of chicken cutlet, walking around eating it. Or you can have it in a sandwich. That's always good too. Like a good cook, I season my fried foods right when they come out. Look at these bits! Oh my God. This is gonna be delicious. We're very close, I think just 1 minute. And then we can fry basil. I'm so afraid of this part. It's not very easy for me to get Thai basil in my neighborhood, so I just brought regular sweet basil, which is I think what is available in most American grocery stores, and that is totally fine. If you're able to get your hands on Thai basil, you're so lucky. It's important to then like put it on some paper towels and just make sure it's very dry, because there may be like little beads of moisture that's trapped on the leaves from being in the clamshell, and you just want to make sure that you don't end up having oil explode in your face. Okay? So I'm gonna add this. It's gonna splatter a little bit. It's fine. You don't want to fry it for too long, because then it loses its color and its flavor. You really just want to do this just long enough to crisp it up. And then that's it. You can hear the sound. It's like, it's crunchy when it falls down on top of each other. That's it. It's so good. It's so crunchy. You taste the fried spice, the white pepper, and just a hint of Sichuan peppercorn, just a little bit of spice and nummingness. I really hope you guys make it. Maybe you can't share it with anybody right now, but it's the kind of food that makes you, kind of soothes you a little bit. It's gentle.